Hi, everybody. I'm Vandy, your art librarian, and I'm here to kind of walk you through doing research for Renaissance art. If you've had this before, things are a little bit different. We've got a new website, and so things are a little changed, and there's some unique things that JSTOR and ArtStore have done to kind of integrate themselves into one database. So I'm going to show you around that because it can be a little tricky. I'm going to have this in two videos. That way you're not listening to me talk for an hour. The first video is going to be going through kind of the basics, an introduction to the new website, how to, some tricks and stuff that I've learned on research and trying to keep yourself organized, some things like that, using Google Documents. A little bit into swoop search. Those of you who've worked with me know that I don't really care for swoop search, especially when it comes to art research. And then we'll look at the research guide and I'll introduce you into SciWheel. The second video is going to be getting into JSTOR, ArtStore, using Google Books, looking at and WorldCat, using Google Scholar, and how to function through with SciWheel. Okay, so let's get started. Again, my name is Vandy Debris. I'm your librarian. You can contact me anytime. Please, 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 if you have trouble with anything, if you are trying to research something and you get stuck, if you just need help, let me know. Okay, I am your librarian. That is my job, is to help you with your research. If something is saying it should give you a full text and it's not, if something's not working correctly, let us know at the library. When we take a tour of the homepage, I'll show you, you've got access to our phone number. If you call that number, we're going to be answering the phone. If you get on the library chat where it'll say, ask a librarian, you're talking to us. In fact, right now, I'm actually on backup for chat too. So that's how that works. Most nights we're open till 2 a.m. We've got people at our help desk answering the phone, monitoring the chat, because 99% of the time, guys, it's not going to be you, it's going to be the tech. And we're having a lot of connection issues. So give us a call, okay? Hop on the chat. Let us know what's going on. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. And you're going to see the library's new homepage. Now, we are trying to get some things moved around, but this is it as it is, September 9th of 2024. If you look around it, it looks quite different. You've got the library hours, got reserve a study room. That's what I would use in this upper part. If you scroll down just a little bit, this is your main hub for your research. Okay. You've got your advanced swoop search. You've also got your research guides by subject. Okay, that's going to be key. You've also got library textbooks. I would specifically look at that every semester just to check and see if the library actually has one or two of your textbooks, because that can save you quite a bit of money. Even if we just have one of your textbooks, that can save you, quite a bit. One of the things that I do when I'm researching that's helped me out tremendously is to start with a Google Doc. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to open up my Google Docs. Okay, so I'm going to name this, let's do Titian paper. Okay, and I'm going to start typing out my search strings. Now, you've had these different library lessons, and one of the key things in that lesson of crafting the search, it talks about the words that you use to search and how crucial that is and how setting up that search is crucial. So I will do it in Google Docs. And this has a lot of different features that helps me out. One, I'm going to start typing in my search strings. I'm going to start thinking about my topic and thinking about words that I'm going to use to search. So for this, let's say I'm going to do some work on, I'm looking for information on Titian's Danae paintings. Okay, I'm going to kind of start kind of general, and I'm thinking about my words. So I'm going to think about maybe Greek mythology. I'm going to put in Titian. That may be a good word to put in. And I'm also, I mean, if I just put that in, that could be kind of broad all over the place. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up here. And maybe I need to look at the time period we're talking about. I know I'm looking at art and paintings, and I want to look at how that figure or how Greek mythology was done in those paintings. Maybe there's a book on specifically the Renaissance paintings and Greek mythology, and it's got a great chapter on Titian and his pieces. So I'm gonna kind of think that way. I'm gonna play with it a little bit. So I'm gonna look at the time period. You can see here where I'm gonna zoom that in a little bit more for you guys. Yes. So you see that I'm putting in things like Greek mythology and 16th century in quotes. Remember from that searching, crafting the search lesson, that's going to tell the system to to keep that phrase together. I don't want to look for the word century anywhere it can, okay? So I'm going to start typing out my search strings here. One of the key things with using a Google Doc for research is that I can just copy and paste. When you're doing research and you're tired, you know, we all get very tired and drained, you're going to keystroke wrong once in that search, and that's going to throw the entire search off. Plus, this is also going to do some spell checking for me because I need that. So what I can do as I'm doing these is I'm just going to come in and I'm going to copy and paste. Now we're going to look into the advanced search of Swoop Search just because I want to see if there are any ebooks that we have. Okay. I'm going to place that string there, and I'm going to do this one here. Okay. Now just know that we're just starting our search. And a lot of times I'll use Swoop Search for my pre-search just to kind of see what sort of things are floating around. Swoop Search in and of itself is just a discovery tool. All it does is it searches across about 200 of our databases and our library catalog all at the same time. That can be good, but it also has a lot of drawbacks. And there's a lot of issues with connection inside of Swoop Search. So just know that going in. I have a lot of students go, oh, I searched the library Swoop Search and I'm done. No, that is barely scratching the surface. And it really doesn't search a lot of the art databases that you need. So I'm going to see if we have any ebooks in here, but I'm also going to kind of see and look around for other words that I can use when I go into my art databases. You'll notice that I'm putting each topic on its own line. That way, if I find another word that I want to use, I'm just going to add it in here. So then when I go to JSTOR, I've got my search terms started. Now I'm going to do a search. And I got over 1,000 results. That's way too much. Okay, so I come back up here and I look and I say, oh, any field. That means whatever words I'm going to put here, it can look anywhere it wants to for it. Well, that's obviously a bit too broad. So I'm going to drop that down and I'm going to say maybe subject. Maybe I want the subject of my books to be this. Okay, and you can play around with where it looks, but if you'll notice, we don't have a lot of fields that we can play with because it's a skimming of the surface discovery tool. It can't drill down really far and say, oh, well, this has to be the, in the abstract or anything like that. It's pretty basic. Now you've got sweep search, and that means 200 databases and our library catalog. If I just want to see what books we have here, whether it's an ebook or a print book, I'm going to stop and take it out of sweep search, and I'm just going to say library catalog. I don't want to dig through 3 pages of book reviews to find out that we don't have a copy of the book. Okay, 2 results. Now I can again come in here and play around with this. So maybe the entire book is not just about Greek mythology. So maybe this is part of it, but I still want my subject to maybe be Renaissance or 16th century. Now you can see I got 17 results. That's how playing around with that works. I can come over here and pretty much all of the databases will have this left-hand menu. But I can come over here and say, oh, I just want books, or yes, I meant Baroque art, or, I can click subject more and see even more items. And I'm also paying attention to these because I might actually want to take, oh yeah, that word Baroque. Maybe I want to take that and add that to my list of words that I'm using. I can also go through and look at creation date, even though for us that's in art, it's not that big of a deal, but in some fields it is. But I'm going to look through here and see what I've got. I've only got 17, so I can handle that. We've got some print books. They'll say available at the main campus. They'll tell you a call number and it will give you the location. A big thing with art books is that we're going to have them in at least 2 to 3 different locations in the library, mainly oversized. So oversized books are books that are too big to be housed with the regular books. So they're going to be in a section called oversized. Basically, you go to the oversized section, you look for this call number to find this book. But you always want to click on the title of the book and go into the record for it, because that's going to give you some other words that you can use. Sometimes you get a description, sometimes you get the table of contents, you get more information about that book. And of course, I'm looking here, I'm finding other words. If it's really what I want to search on, I'm gonna look at those terms and add them to my search terms if I like them. If I wanted this book, come to the library. Again, go to this section, look for this call number to find the book and check it out. Now you'll notice that we've got some stuff in here, online access. Online access, okay? What that means is that it's an ebook. So I can click on the title of this one and I see online access. I can again look at the record. I'm gonna look at the table of contents. This one is the description, has a table of contents and a little bit of an abstract, a few subject terms. But the key thing with these ebooks is even though it's in green and it says online access, that to me, since it's in green, tells me that we should have it, but you don't always know. So you have to click into that book to make sure that we actually have access to it. So this one says, yes, we have unlimited access to this book. Okay? You can scroll down through the table of contents, look at the different chapters, even the sub-chapters, art in Italy, and I can kind of go through there and look at it. Big thing with the ebooks, so like this one says there are no copy, print, or download restrictions on this title, so you can download the whole book. Sometimes there will be restrictions and they will say you can only download maybe 30 pages of this book. So you are very restricted. They mean that. They will only allow you to actually download 30 pages of it. When it says download the whole book, that only means that you get to check that book out for 7 days. Even though it'll appear on your computer, they will take out your access to it after 7 days. A handy thing with Swoop Search and these ebooks is using the pen feature. If I've looked at this book, I know that we have full text access to it, but I'm going to come back and look at it later to get my research out of it. I'm going to use this pen. What that's going to do is that's actually going to pen it to my Swoop account. So when I get ready to look through that book, I'm going to come in, advanced Swoop, and I'm going to go to this little pin right here. And that's going to bring up the books that I have pinned. That is, I will say that is a very handy feature in Swoop Search. Let's see if we can't look at another one of these. Oh, those are my pinned books. Let's look at this one. Okay, so we can see that we've got more information here. If I want to see the book, see this one, if I wanted this book, it says, sorry, this book is not available. But the key thing with that is that I can still scroll down. I can see a description of the book. I can actually see the table of contents and see if there's just one chapter out of this book I want, or if I want the whole book. Because we actually have a system called interlibrary loan. So what that means is that if there's a book chapter, or an article that you want that we don't have full text access to, all you have to do is fill out a little form and we will find it and get it for you. And what's really interesting about that is that I can just request one book chapter. They're actually going to scan it and send it to me as a PDF, and I'm going to get it faster. So again, if there's just one chapter, 20 pages out of the book that I need, I'm most definitely going to request it as a book chapter because I'm going to get it faster. They're going to do the scanning for me. It's a win-win. However, if it's more than a chapter that you need, you have to request the whole book because they cannot send you, it's a copyright thing. They can't send you more than 15% of that book. So let's say I wanted to just get this one chapter. Well, how do I do that? Right now, with the new website, the interlibrary loan link is pretty buried. So what I suggest you do is go in and just Google UT Tyler Library interlibrary loan. Click here, and you're going to get to this page. Scroll down and click this URL right here. Okay. What I suggest you do at this point is bookmark this page. That way, from now on, all you have to do is go click that bookmark. See, I've got mine right here, and it takes you straight into your interlibrary loan account. Now, you should have done a lesson on creating your interlibrary loan account. If you've never done this before, you'll come up to a, I think it's this right here. You'll come up to like a form that looks like this, and you fill it out once as a student. And then from then on, it'll auto log you in like you saw before. You'll use your first name, your last name, your UT Tyler email address, your phone number, your delivery location is going to be the Tyler campus unless you are a distance student. Let's say you live in Arkansas or Mississippi. At that point, if you are a registered distance student, then you will tell it UT Tyler Distance Internet. Okay. If you are a distance student, then you will tell them home delivery. But if you live anywhere near a campus, if you drive to campus daily or 2 to 3 times a week, I heavily suggest saying the campus that you live closest to, because home delivery can take up to an extra 3 to 4 days to get to you. If you're doing a campus, just pick hold for pickup, select delivery date. Put in your home address. tell it what status you are, if you're undergraduate or graduate. If you're a distance student, you tell them you're a distance internet graduate, and then you submit the information. That's all there is to it. You do this once as a student, and then after that, I'm going to go in and go back to my account. It will auto log you in, and you'll just see your account. Usually, if you're in any of our databases and there's an article or a book chapter that you want and we don't have access to it, you'll see a link that says borrow from another library or request via ILLiad, which is the software that we use. And you would click that link and it would take you straight to this, and it would actually fill out the item form for you. Well, right now we are currently having issues with those links. So I'm going to show you how to manually do this. So let's say I am wanting that book that I have been looking at. And I want to do new request book chapter. I just want that one chapter I've been looking at. Then I've got the book title, I've got the page numbers, and the chapter title. That's all we really have to have. The things with the little red flowers. That's all we really have to have. I usually don't mess around with the not wanted after date unless it's summer. Okay. As soon as you submit this, they're immediately processing it. So that's why that automatically generates a month. I usually don't mess with it. The last thing on every form that you fill out for interlibrary loan is going to be applicable charges. That's going to be 0, enter, and we'll find it and get it for you. Okay. Okay. So again, we're in the book in our swoop search. I've got the title of the book. I've got the author, if that's what you need. You've got the chapter title. You've got the page numbers. You just fill out that form. When it comes in, you'll typically get an email, but you can always just go straight back into your interlibrary loan account and then do view electronically received articles. And if it's in, that PDF will be sitting right there waiting for you. The biggest thing with this is that it's only going to stay in here for 30 days. We're held by copyright law, so it can only stay in here for 30 days. But what you do is you open up the PDF and download it to your computer, and then that is your copy to keep. Okay, so as soon as I come in here for these, I'm automatically downloading them. There's another thing that you can do with this called SciWheel. We'll talk about SciWheel in just a minute. But for now, just go in here and download these PDFs. Do not wait on that. I have a lot of students that get caught up with that and they're like, oh, I'm ready to write my paper and all my articles are gone. Well, because they're going to disappear in here. So moving onwards. Okay, so that's swoop search in a nutshell. Okay, I don't really spend a whole lot of time in swoop search. It's just when I'm looking at what kind of ebooks we have, I'm starting to look at my words and stuff like that. Really, when I'm doing research, I want to be in the research guides by subject. Subject is the key, okay? That's where you want to be when you're starting research. You go to art, regular art, books, articles, and more databases. If you'll notice, there's all kinds of stuff on writing and citing, primary sources, useful websites that are, there's lots of museums out there with different websites. So they're there. They're credible. You can get access to them. There you go. Setting up interlibrary loan. I've got a little link here that walks you through setting that up. I've also got the PDF on creating your library links in Google Scholar. We're going to go through that in the second video, but just in case you need some more notice on how to do it when you get home, that's right there. And you've got a link to the free textbooks. But we're going to hit the databases because this is where you really want to be. Now, in part 2 of this video, we're going to talk about going in and looking through ArtStore and JSTOR and WorldCat and using those. But for right now, what I want to do is I want to walk you through SciWheel. Okay, SciWheel is a citation manager that is really going to help you out. Okay, so when you go into SciWheel, and I'm going to log out for a second, you're going to see this. If it's your first time using SciWheel, you're going to see this, okay? You got to create an account. Do not use this right here. Do not create a free account. You want to go into the sign in, put in an outside email address, okay, and say create an account. You're just going to fill out this form. Again, this will be the one time you do this as a student. And create a password. This should be a password that you don't use. I mean, not that you don't use it. This should be a password that you don't really change. Do not set it as your Patriots password, okay? Okay. And then you're going to say, I'm not a robot, and create a free account. And create an account. This puts you under our umbrella, which means you can have as many projects as you want. The other one, they offer that free for everybody, and it is well, I'm just going to go straight into my site again. Okay. So once you create your SciWheel account, you want to go to tools, and usually at that point, it'll actually pop up and say, do you want a Chrome extension? If you're in Safari, it'll ask you if you want to install the Safari extension. You do. Okay, so that's the first thing you do is install your extension. Then if you're in Chrome, one of the things is that it'll immediately pop up here, but you always want to go to this little puzzle piece and make sure it is pinned to your little browser extension bar. That way it's always right there. What SciWheel does is it actually will go across pretty much anything. It will not matter if I am in Google Books, Google Scholar, any of our databases. If there's something that I want, I can just click on this plugin and it will actually drop the citation information into SciWheel for me. So that's what you're seeing here. Hey, you see all of my references from all of my research and publishing, okay? I can go to my dashboard and I can see my different projects. What we would normally call a folder in SciWheel, they call a project. So this is an article I'm working on publishing. This is a project I'm working on. I can place them in certain areas. Okay. The other thing you'll want to do, and before we actually start using this, is in the tools, you want to do your Google Doc add-on, and if you use Word, a Word add-in. I actually have both, okay? When you have these installed, if you'll notice on my Google Docs right here, I've got SciWheel. So now I have this plugin. So when I start getting ready to type my paper, I've got my research, I'm getting ready to do that. I'm going to do SciWheel, and I'm going to say format citations and bibliography. And I'm going to tell it how I want my citations done. I'm going to say view more styles. I'm going to say Chicago. You'll notice they don't have the 18th in here because it just came out. So I may tell it I want the Chicago 17th. And then what I'm going to do is then I will just double check and see if it is, and then make my changes after that to the 18th version. Then, after I set my bibliography style, I'm going to go to side wheel and I'm going to go to link document to project. And whatever project I have labeled for this one, I'm going to tell it to go there. And it's going to link to it. Then when I'm in here and I'm typing up my paper and I'm like, oh, I need to cite that. Side wheel, insert citations. And it's actually going to bring up all of the items that I have in that project. And as I'm typing and writing, all I have to do is click cite, and it's actually going to cite it in here for me. Then when I get done, I just do insert citation and bibliography, and it's actually going to build the bibliography for me. Okay. So it's a great way to keep yourself organized, especially across semesters. And we'll talk a little bit more about SciWheel. We'll go through some in part 2. We're going to go through and do some actual researching through the databases, and I'll show you how it all functions together again. Okay. These are things that I do in my research. As you can see, I do a lot of research and publishing. So these are things that I do that help me tremendously. The other thing with you utilizing Google Docs is that and you'll see this as we go through these databases, you're going to find other terms. You're going to have to deal with artworks that have multiple titles. We have to deal with a lot of times foreign artists, foreign titles, which then gets into diacritics. If you don't know what I mean by diacritic, what that is that would be the tilde over the N in Spanish. That would be the umlaut over the U in German. For somebody who is cataloging, which means data entry for that piece in a database or even in a museum website, we have to use those diacritics. If we do not, it can be in that language, it would be a different word. So we have to use those diacritics. As you saw in the crafting the search lesson, computers use punctuation as a command. So you've got a weird symbol in this word that the computer is reading almost as a command, and those diacritics can wreak havoc with the computer system. So there's different ways around that you can plug into your search string in your Google Doc. Again, the older the piece, the more titles it's going to have, little intricacies of things that we need to record in with our search, like the date that the specific piece was being painted or is accredited to, what it was. Is it oil on canvas? Is it a sculpture, and is it in marble or bronze? All these different things that we need to put in, we need to record about our piece in order to go and find information about it. You will put in your Google Doc, because you're not going to do 8 hours of research in a stretch. So, you're only going to remember the first couple of words you started with. And then what happens is you get caught in a cycle. You're going to the same databases, using the same words, getting the same stuff, and you get very exhausted. So if you're using your Google Doc, you're recording those different words, you're recording all that information, and you can also take notes to yourself. Next time, search JSTOR. Next time, search Google Books. Check on my interlibrary loans. All of those things that you would need to tell your future self, put in that Google Doc, so that in a few days when you come back to do research, then you've got all of that information and you can just start right from where you left off. Okay. So we're going to get ready. I'm going to get ready to record part 2. and I will see you in there. Bye, guys.